Hello, everyone. What's going on? Welcome back to Samson's Financial Advice. My name is Samson Abrams, and thank you for tuning in to my first official video. For those that watch the intro, I'm sure you got a feel for what my channel is. But I think before I really go into any technical aspect of investing, I should talk about my personal investment journey and how you can get started on the same journey today. So essentially, for those that are first tuning in for the first time, I'm 18 years old. I personally invest in the stock market. I'm also looking to get into the options market as well and the bond market. Essentially throughout my time investing in the stock market, I've learned a lot about investing. I've learned a lot about, strategies to use to make money. And I've also learned about how to analyze the market and how to analyze certain trends. So before we really talk about any of the technical aspects of that, I think it's important to tell you where it all began for me. So here are the first kind of pictures of when I first got exposed to investing. So this is when I visited the New York Stock Exchange in 2018. Essentially, I was about to be a freshman in high school. I didn't really know much, but I was there with a few of my family members. I was able to see what it was. As you can see in the middle picture, this is the opening and closing bell. So before each trading day and at the end of each trading day, this closing and opening bell will be rung to symbolize the open and close of the New York Stock Exchange. And the New York Stock Exchange is on Wall Street, in New York City, for those that didn't know. It's definitely a great place to visit for those that want to kind of see what it's like and kind of like the general atmosphere over there. So basically, the beginning of my investment journey, or when I actually really started, was at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. So the stock market went to all-time lows. As you can see from this diagram, the market was this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we'll talk about later, but the market essentially went below 25,000. Now it's at 34,000, but I put my money in essentially right where this red arrow is pointing. And this was around February, March of 2020. And so essentially what happened was I put my money into a few stocks that we're going to discuss later, and those stocks came back and I was able to make a good amount of profit off of that. And that's what really, fueled the flame for me to really get started in further investing my money. So, and then I can just show you a diagram of where the market is now. If we look at kind of like a 5-year max, this is kind of where I started. As you can see where the indicator is, it was like an all-time low. A lot of investors, including myself, put their money in here. The market came back and it's now here. So a lot of us put our money in at 19,000 at March 20th, 2020, and now it's at 35,000, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And for those that don't know, the Dow Jones Industrial Average essentially tracks like 30 of like some of the largest US companies. And it's like an indicator of where the market is today. So that's definitely something to remember, but it's also just an indication of where I started, which was here, and where I am now, which is here. So just keep that in mind. So essentially when we look at, where the market has gone ever since the pandemic and ever since things have come back, it's really gone on an uptrend. And now the fear is that there may be another downtrend, which is something that investors are looking for as maybe a buying opportunity. So here are just a few stocks that I currently own and stocks that were able to make money for me. The biggest gain or the biggest earner for me was Apple, which is up 160% since I bought it. And I was able to make a significant profit. I would say 50% of my portfolio or 50% of the profit I've made has been off Apple. Another stock that I'm really happy I got into is American Express. Well, American Express and JP Morgan, because they're both financial companies, and financial companies were hit extremely hard at the very beginning of the pandemic, and they both have done extremely well for me. And the fourth stock that has also done well is Exxon, which is an oil company, and they are up 56%. So I'm not going to get into dollar amounts, but the general principle is that I was able to buy low and sell high, which are principles that you should always keep in mind for your portfolio. Also, keep in mind there's something else in the stock market called dividends, which we'll get into later. But three of these stocks, or at least two of these, Apple and American Express and JP Morgan, all give me dividends. So on top of the earnings that I made, I also get like periodic payments from these stocks, which is another thing that we'll talk about later. So the big question that this video really aims to ask or answer is how you can personally start investing today. Now, the first thing you should do before you really actually put your money in the market is to learn, which this channel will help you do. We're going to talk about the details of the stock market, the details of the bond market, how it works, how you can properly analyze the market. But I think the most important thing to do is practice. Use Thinkorswim, which is on TD Ameritrade, and I will link this in the description. Use MarketWatch simulators. MarketWatch is an extremely popular website, which I have a lot of experience on, and which I will also link in the description. After you've gotten comfortable practicing on simulators, you can go ahead and download either become a part of a brokerage firm, like get an account on a brokerage such as Fidelity, Vanguard, any of the big names. You can do your own research, or it's as easy as downloading the Robinhood trading app if you don't want to go through the trouble of setting up a professional account. Robinhood, as I'm sure many people have heard, is an extremely easy way to get started trading. There's also sites like Webull, essentially allow you to trade from your phone, and it's extremely easy, but also risky because you do have to know what you're doing before you would really put money into the market. Next step, step 4, learn how to read markets. Learn about the indices, the indicators, technical fundamental analysis, quantitative analysis. Learn what those are, and we will talk about each of those in detail. Do something that I did, which is consult those with experience. So ask friends, family members. You could even message me, people that have experience investing, people that understand what the stock market is and who have experience both making money and losing money, because you have to really understand how to, both win and take losses, which is just a life concept. Next one is don't take it too seriously. So this is not me saying that you should completely be careless and just throw your money at the market. No, it's the opposite. You should take things seriously, but don't be too serious about, oh, I lost money. Don't get upset if you happen to lose or if you happen to have a down day in your portfolio. These things happen, and you just have to be able to roll with the punches. That's one of the most important investment like ideas, is just to be able to roll with it. Just to be able to say, what, I lost money today, but I can make it back another way. So be optimistic and make wise decisions. Don't throw your money at a company because you like the company. Make sure that before you really make an investment, you have reasoning behind why you're making the investment and why you think that you can make money. Because chances are, even if in the end the trade is not a good trade, at least you said, oh, this was the reasoning I had behind it. Maybe my reasoning was flawed. You could even go back and look at why your reasoning was flawed to learn from that for future investment. But it's important to have a firm set of reasoning before putting your money into anything, because a lot of people simply put their money into big brand names without actually analyzing the financials, and that's how people lose money. So I think it's important for anyone that's new to investing, don't be intimidated. Follow these steps. Make sure you ask questions, ask me questions, tune into my channel where I'll be talking about, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, quantitative analysis, what the stock market is. I'll even go over some of these simulators in the next video. I'll do live trading on these simulators. And, make sure you just ask questions and follow these steps. So I'm going to keep this video short, but here's my information. Thank you for watching. And, make sure you tune in next week or whenever the next video is released, because I will be going into depth about the stock market. I will be doing virtual simulations, and I will be really explaining how you can understand how to fully analyze the stock market as a whole. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you soon.